I am a man of science, so when I see something unexplored, such as Enchantress mid, or Tusk offlane, or BSJ's basement, then I feel compelled to explore, experiment, and elaborate on the idea. That often leads to me losing a lot of MMR, or maybe even proving a concept which then goes on to become meta, or maybe seeing the dismembered heads of failed coaching students. But today is about a hero who has been super popular since release. She has been the most powerful hero in the game at some point and has been played competitively both as carry and as support, and yet there's something which pros and pubs alike just don't understand about this hero at all, and it's called Party Shot. This spell makes people say this.
Wow, that's a lot of damage.
This. And this. I'm convinced that this ability is so much stronger than people realize, and I actually believe that some of these combos could even be seen in professional play under certain circumstances. Some of them are really good, and some of them are really, really silly. And I even took some pros along to get their opinions on it, and you might be surprised by how they react to some of these things.
This one is just strictly good. Like, I don't see a downside in this one.
So, what the fuck does Party Shot actually do? Well, firstly, it is called Parting Shot, and it creates a copy of the target hero called the Soul Hero. It cannot be attacked, targeted, or debuffed in any way, shape, or form. The Soul Hero is completely immortal and undispellable. However, it also cannot attack or use items, which means it can only cast spell. It's essentially an immortal spellcasting machine. And that sounds OP, and it would be if it didn't share cooldowns with the main hero. And also, your main hero is still vulnerable this entire time. It's got a 35% damage resistance on it, but it's completely stunned for the 4-second duration of this spell. So whilst yes, 4 seconds is a long stun, 35% damage reduction means this isn't a fantastic lockdown tool. And of course, if you want to use it as a lockdown tool, then why would you not just get a Hex? I mean, the stats are better, it's just a better item overall. So there's a lot of questions we need to answer here. But what was the intention? Why can the target cast spells, and why could it be used on allies? These are the questions that kept me up at night. What was IceFrog thinking? I had to find out. So I started looking at potential combos. I went through every single hero in the game, testing every single possible combination I could think of, and I've got some very surprising results for you. Test 1. Snapfire. The plan is simple. Snapfire and Muerta both build Aghanims Scepter. Snapfire, if she ever gets into trouble, can be shot. The Soul Hero can gobble her up and then fire her away to safety. Or you can use it as an initiation tool, firing yourself into battle. It sounds weird, it sounds stupid, and it is. Let's find out how it goes. So here we are in game number 1, and quite honestly, I had no fucking clue what was going on. As you can see, my illusion kind of just jumped into the fight, or my soul, and didn't do a damn thing. And we thought the best way to use it here was initiation, and turns out throwing yourself into the middle of the entire enemy team whilst completely stunned is a terrible fucking idea. So, you know, we went to the next game. On to game number 2, hoping things go a little bit better. We've got some fresh ideas and a fresh start. And with all this early game action, I'm able to purchase myself a pretty early Aghanims Scepter in addition to my other items. Muerta as well, picking up the Ags at around the same time. We are good to go. Now, I walk into my own jungle to find a Medusa. Very, very farmed Medusa farming here. Scary stuff. With the axe coming in as well, it looks like I am in a spot of bother, but thankfully, Muerta's coming in from the sidelines with a parting shot.
He eats, and he saves. What a play, actually. That's kind of hype. Let's poke.
The pros are happy, the enemies are confused, and I'm feeling pretty damn good about myself. Now push down at bottom goes a similar way with the axe coming in. Clinkz as well, dealing a lot of damage, but in comes a parting shot from the sidelines, and it actually turns out I'm not in any danger, but I just turn around and go aggressively, shoot myself in. You'll notice I do delay when I'm shooting myself in to make sure that I'm not stunned in front of the Clinkz's face like I was in the last game. Same situation as before, in a whole bunch of trouble from all this damage, and away we go.
Well, that was pretty cool, Nomad. Have you considered going pro?
Thank you for that very legitimate comment, Lizzard. And now, in Roshan's pit, things are getting hairy, so I feel like I'll return the favor to Muerta, shoot her across, over to safety, and straight into the eyes of Medusa. Now, I don't feel too bad about this one. I mean, look at how close this was. This is absolutely ridiculous. Here we have the slow motion, gobble up, spit out, no parting shot going on here, just flat out trying to save my carry. And frame perfect TP from the Medusa, absolutely owning my poor teammate. So yeah, from this point onwards, things looking pretty dire indeed. Big old Medusa coming up our high ground. We just haven't been able to put it together in this game. Is that because we've wasted 8,400 gold? I'll leave you guys to decide that one. We do our best. We try to pull off some shenanigans, but the game does go to the dire. Here we go with game number 3. Surely this time we can get ourselves a dub. I've seen before, the lanes have tended to go pretty damn well. I've secured my lane, I've hit level 6, and I immediately want to combo it up with the Faceless Void down at bottom. Obviously, Chronosphere into Mortimer's Kisses is a fantastic combo. So, I wait. I tell him to go. I wait. I trust him. And eventually I get bored of waiting and just throw him in with a cookie, follow up with Mortimer's Kisses, and that will be a eventual, surprisingly close kill onto Legion Commander, but we do get it done. So with all that happening, I get my Aghanims, and once again, we're ready to show some things off here, and once again, you know, the save is needed, but they're not, so I can turn around, go aggressive, and get the kill onto the jug. And here we see a duel taking place. The gobble up is there though, the throw across to safety. I mean, it's a poor attempt from the Legion Commander anyway, but this will be a nice clean win. Can't claim much credit here. I mean, the game just kind of went well, but still, Muerta being the support does seem to be the key. So, is this seriously a viable strategy? Well, I don't know, but luckily, we got people smarter than me who do know.
I'm honestly impressed. I don't know how practical it is. 'Cause the issue is like it's effectively you're being Snapfire for yourself, but for the price of 2 eggs, you know?
Yeah.
Because some could say the argument is that the Snapfire just doesn't get gone on, and then he saves his teammate like that, and then you get to save 4,000 gold. But I also get to say that as a Snapfire player, you'd probably feel really cool doing this. You know, I'm a believer that, you know, when you feel cool, you play better.
Is it worth 8,400 gold?
No. Yes,
Yeah.
if it's a mid-Snapfire. If it's a mid-Snapfire where he's got a free Ag's Blessing from Roshan and a right-clicking Snapfire, then suddenly, you know, you're helping your big damage dealer, level 25, navigate the fight. So it could be cool, but it's so fucking clowny that no. So big no, but I could see one clip generated from pro play. Just one.
Ooh, okay, all right, I can take that. Sounds to me like a resounding yes. Let's get on to the next test. Witch Doctor heals a lot. He also does a decent amount of damage with Voodoo Restoration now, and at some point in the game, this has even led him to become a competitively viable offlane. I mean, players like Moo were actually playing him offlane and having a pretty good success with it. So what would happen if we then doubled the amount of healing and damage this hero could produce? And let's not forget, 35% damage reduction is no joke. In fact, when I was playing this, it was still at 50%, so it was even better. Surely this is good. Right? Witch Doctor. Alright, we're going to start this one off with a very satisfying kill into a Tinker. Not particularly special, it's just a Tinker dying with my 3 points in Voodoo Restoration, but who doesn't want to watch a Tinker die? So as you can see, things aren't going great in this game, I'm going to be honest, but we get a couple of kills, the turnaround starts to look possible. So here we go. I just say group up, get around me. I've got so much healing to throw out. We've got this combo online. Ags available on the Muerta. Let's see what we can do. Here we go. Right into the front line. Just trying to absorb as much attention as possible. The parting shot is there. The healing, the double healing, it's doing absolutely nothing. I'm just completely turned inside out. And again, everybody else follows me to the grave. And here, under my tier 2 tower, trying to keep myself alive, Sven comes in. The damage is just too much. Parting shot just a fraction too late, and I am dead. And now, under our tier 2 tower in the middle lane, it's looking like a similar situation. I'm just getting beaten down. Now, it might be time to reflect here that perhaps huge burst heroes such as Tinker and Sven might be a pretty decent counter to this build, but nevertheless, you know, there are moments like this where it looks like it mightn't be awful, and then Tinker jumps in and murders me. Well, at least he can't dive the fountain, I guess.
I can't take much more.
And this game does go to the enemies. Alright, as a scientist, I can say this didn't work. The enemy team just had an overwhelming amount of burst of damage, but it was only one test, so surely the next 2 or 3 games are going to be fine, but I'll be honest, I did not want to play this anymore. This was awful. It put me off the idea forever. So like a beagle that was used for testing cosmetic products, it's time for it to be taken out back and shot. And yeah, they actually do that. Google it. Lycan. Now, I hope there's no doors watching because it's about to get unhinged. So, I don't really know how I came up with this one, but as I said, I was just testing everything, and what I found is that Lycan, he's got a synergy. It's not with How. It's not with anything you're thinking. It's with his Aghanims as well. It's Wolf Bite. Let's watch. Down in the bottom lane, and things are looking not so great, as unfortunately, my Muerta does go down, hits level 6 on Marcy, and I had to get chased down, run down like a dog in the street. Ouch. Nevertheless, Alchemist comes in and tries to help things out, and honestly, a lot of damage coming out with this minus armor, with all of my wolves attacking. We get the kill onto the Marcy, things start to go a little bit better. Most importantly for the Alchemist, who is going to be feeding me that Aghanims Scepter. Right now, in fact. Thank you, Alk. Wolfbite available. Muerta, she's going to get her Aghanims as well. And all of a sudden, we are cooking. Who's ready for it? Parting shot comes in. Wolfbite comes out. Holy moly.
Did you Wolfbite yourself?
Maybe.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Oh, you're gonna have another one. That's poke. That's poke if you carry your Lycan.
So you can have like double shapeshift on your Lycan.
Well, at least Dendi liked it.
Look at the left-hand side of the screen. Who's getting the kills? Who's running away from the fight? Exactly. Nomad.
But
his treads harpoon
who
like
started the fight?
You just howled. It doesn't matter if you're in
How's a
wolf
good
fight
ability?
form or not. You are useless.
That sounds extremely viable. I'm really shocked that no teams are using
Thank
it.
you,
It
thank
sounds
you.
very cheap, very viable. Nomad, you're just like a well of ideas that never dries out.
Another day, another wolf bite, another running in, another try to start just something, anything happening.
Like now you're just griefing your team. Like your fucking Alchemist is like, homie, where's my wolf bite? You're like, I use it on myself.
Look, I'm doing my job. Some games, you just need that guy who's gonna run in and then wait 18 seconds and run in again with the same ability. We take this win entirely down to my build, and definitely nothing to do with just completely snowballing this game.
I mean, it's kind of cool. You know, maybe in the near future, maybe when Muerta gets picked as a support, and then Lycan gets Ags from Roche if it's Radiant. You know, a lot of stipulations to get this Roche Ags now.
To your question, is it worth 8,000 gold? No. Did you grease your Alchemist? Yes. Did you look pretty? Hella pretty.
All right, back to the drawing board. These last two games were a little bit memey, and I want to show you guys something which you actually is going to think is pretty cool, pretty viable, and that the pros I'm using are going to think is cool as well. So let's get into my next one, which may be my best work yet. You see, the problem with Snapfire core is that she doesn't really want to be in. Like, sure, you want to be getting off your damage, but you don't want to be in their faces. Pudge? He wants to be in. He is a frontline core which wants to be in your opponent's faces, which obviously comes with risks. So if you give him the ability to actually save himself with just an Aghanims on the Muerta and a shard on the Pudge, all of a sudden, this becomes much, much more valuable than anything we've seen before. The concept is remarkably simple, my friends. All we're going to do is play Pudge as a core. We're going to build the Aghanims and we're going to build the Shard. If Pudge gets into difficulty, we're going to shoot him. He's going to eat himself. He's going to be absolutely fine. Not only that, but we've got double instances of Rot. Does Rot stack? Well, as you may have noticed, I'm pretty light on the thinking and pretty heavy on the doing, so let's do some doing. Here we go. Game 1. Offlane Pudge. And here we see me going for the kill onto the Sven. Sure, I'm going to die for it, but I'm doing my job. I'm an offlaner. I'll take that trade every day of the week. Sick dodge from the Sven. What can you do? Sick dodge from the Sven. What can you do? Sick dodge from the Skyrath. What can you do? Hey, I landed one. That's neat. Maybe I'll tell him. Maybe not the best Pudge player you've ever seen, but zoning her. I'll take that. Well, this kill's taking a little bit longer than I'd hoped for. We do get it, but I do seem to be in a spot of bother here. Slark's going to piss off to the side, leaving to my demise, and to be honest, I'm fine with it. Another day, another hook. Oh, come on! That was right through it. That's... You kidding me? Here we go. The Predator waits. Oh, okay. Never mind. Gonna get astraled up, but you know what? I'm still in position to land the hook, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Dragged out Devour in. Now, obviously this has just been a lot of Pudge play up until this point, but it has gotten me a decent amount of gold to start to head towards my Aghanims, and more importantly, Muerta, she's nearly got her Aghanims. And here we see Shadow Fiend in a spot of bother here. Ulties into the BKB. It's not looking great. Hook.
Nobody saw that.
Thank you, Dendi.
Double rot. Wow, that's a lot of damage. V-Fox.
It sure is, Dendi. I get away with it. Now, up here on the top side, a little bit later on in the game, I do have my shard now, which allows me to do this. Consuming myself, keeping myself safe, immediately jumping out and trying to finish off the job. Now, I do make one critical mistake here where I didn't activate Rot on my Soul Hero, which means I didn't get the damage to bring down the Skara, which actually causes me some hard trouble later on, but it doesn't really matter. And now, we're up on the high ground, we're doing the damage, we're going in deep here. I'm begging them to attack me because I know that I've got that second save behind me, allowing me to be as aggressive as I want. The buybacks are coming. It's looking like it might actually be a pretty tough fight here with the RP coming through onto the two of us, but in they go. Look at my health and I live. Parting shot comes in. The consume is there, dismembering myself, keeping myself alive, getting off that double rot damage at the same time. At the turnaround potential, it's too much for the enemy team to handle. We're taking them down. SF's there to deal the real hits. And just like that, we're going to get ourselves the win. So, offlane was pretty fun and kind of successful, but obviously I suffer severely from main character syndrome. I had to try it, carry. Here we go. Game number 2. Not satisfied with just one win. We're going to look for another one, of course. Rough start, but hey, actually managed to land a hook onto Skara this time, so that's nice. Here we see a Morphling in his natural environment. Morphing strength. But of course, we've got the damage taken down. It'll take a bit of time, and Sniper is getting off some heavy hits from the sidelines here. Maybe someone could bring him over to us. Oh, check it out. Now, Skara comes in for a bit of revenge, but we bring down the Sniper as well. This is going to lead us to some very good timings, and look at the parting shot onto the Morphling, whilst he's Agi-morphing as well, completely caught out. Who cares about damage resistance when he's turning himself full Agi, making himself just an easy kill. See here how he uses his Soul Hero to try and escape, just not understanding how the ability works at all. Now, we're looking for some action. Ags, Shard, up on me. Muerta ready to go to help me out as well. Now, well, better late than never, I guess. We get the kill. Void Spirit starts to sniff out what's going on here. Sometimes you need somebody else to hook you, so I intelligently give away hook to the Morphling to get myself in, but things looking a little bit awkward here. I'm waiting for the parting shot, but it's just not going to be there, but instead the save comes in from the Oracle, and the amount of damage that's come out by this point, it doesn't really matter. These guys are just kind of getting slaughtered, not respecting the Pudge damage whatsoever, and they do get brought down along with me. And now, I can go a little bit deeper. That's the thing, it's all about pushing the limits with this as much as possible. You'll notice here how I'm holding Dismember because I'm ready for the saves coming from the Muerta. I think that's really important with this, and there you go. Under the tier 4s, consuming myself, keeping myself safe, and that allows me to get out. That's the thing, you can't use Dismember aggressively. It's kind of unfortunate, but it's worthwhile. The kill goes our way, and once again, looking in trouble, but nom nom nom, thank you very much, save me from the LSA, get me out of danger, and once again, the parting shot pays off. And why not a little bit of fountain diving to go along with it? At this point, the game's looking relatively in the bag. Not a successful experiment. GG. We take another win with this combo. I'm not gonna lie, I see a real potential in this combo, but of course, who cares what I think? I've got one of the Pudge masters of all time here to give us their opinions on this combo.
That's a lot of damage. For 4 seconds, it's actually... This one looks strongest so far, out of all. Like, right? So much damage. Still, it's like, it's a lot of burst for 4 seconds if you think about it, because Pudge damage is huge. Obviously, it's countered by BKB, which is a big deal. So you cannot really use it, like, in many cases, very efficient, but it still looks pretty OP.
It's niche, but I can see scenarios. Your Muerta just comes in clutch, like, and then a double rot in play, melee hero just scuppered, you know, gone. Because it's 4 seconds, you can kind of like brush it off to some degree, kinda.
Yeah, you
But
can.
this one's the coolest of all of them so far. Like this one's the one where I'm like, yeah, this one's hype.
Pretty cool stuff, Nomad. Yeah, amazing.
You got
You're just a field of ripe. Yeah. You're a field of wheat that gives that just gives us the best bread that can only inspire you to create new wonderful ideas in this game of Dota 2. That's what you are.
That was Pudge, and honestly, very fun to play. Really fun to fuck with people's heads as you just jump into the front line and disappear whilst killing them. And that's the thing, like a lot of these combos are really fun, and you're probably thinking of a few of your own right now, which I would encourage you to do so, but definitely test them first, because a lot of stuff just does not interact the way you'd expect it to. For example, Tiny. What's even going on here? You might not even notice. And I mean, I'm going to throw it to the pros and see what they have to think.
Wow, it's actually so broken.
Okay, that's actually kind of sick. Like this is actually kind of sick because you can have some normal right click carry the Tiny, and then the Spirit can just own. You get that Aghanims barrage out of Muerta's spell.
That's kind of cool. So it's like a really scuffed tree volley. Now that one I like, because that's just a bug.
Yeah. It's something to do with the Soul Hero maintaining the hero state which is created in, which means that you can just throw unlimited trees because you never lose the trees. You're undispellable. I don't really know, to be perfectly honest, but if you want to try this one out for yourself, then unfortunately you're out of luck. Yep. Unfortunately with this one, I told Dendi about it, and then the next day they patched it out of the game. So I'm not saying Dendi's a narc, but
He's a snitch.
But it's not the only one. You can do something similar with a different hero. Alchemist can become a stun machine gun if you want him to. That's right, when he charges up stun and you shoot him with parting shot, he can fire an unlimited amount of unstable concoctions. Well, Nomad, surely this is broken, I'm sure you're saying right now. It's not. The problem with it is each stun is considered as a 1-frame charge up, which means it is a grand total of maybe like 100 damage through the entire 4 seconds just firing out stuns. Yes, it is decent lockdown, but I mean, is it any good? No, it's not. On the topic of bugs, there is another one which is probably a bit better than Alchemist and is yet to be fixed. If you're playing with Muerta and Timbersaw, there is actually a way to get a permanent chakram on the middle of the map. Now, this is a single damage chakram, and by middle, I mean literally 0-0 on the Dota map. I don't know why this happens, but it does, and I'm going to tell you how to do it. Firstly, you must cast chakram with your main Timbersaw. Then, you use Parting Shot to create the soul Timbersaw, and you get him to cancel the chakram. Wait for the cooldown, and then Parting Shot Timbersaw again without chakram out. Use a soul Timbersaw to cast and return a chakram. Doing all this voodoo shit will create a permanent chakram in the middle of the map which damages anything that passes through it, but only once. It doesn't do continuous damage, so it's not going to be completely broken, but it does do an initial tick of damage every time something touches it. And if you're waiting for an explanation as to why this happens, then you might be waiting a while, because I have no fucking clue. If you're playing Muerta and you have a Clinkz on your team, then you can do something pretty cool. If you use Parting Shot on the Clinkz, then he can actually eat himself, which will then give himself all of the stats of the main hero to the main hero. It's incredibly broken and gives him tons and tons of right-clicking power. Or at least that's what I told my friend that would happen.
Alright, Nomad.
Valve don't make mistakes.
Alright, let's go. You ready? So you click on the soul, control the soul, and eat yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, go. Brilliant. I'm dead.
Oh.
Good luck, guys. You have no need for this. For some reason. It's kind of weird, but for some reason I'm not there. I'm not quite sure why.
I don't know how that happened then.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Okay, so if you do it on a Clinkz, he can eat his real self as the ghost, which kills himself instantly, denying himself.
Tell Gunnar I said thanks.
If you're looking for more Pudge style combos, maybe you're thinking of Leshrac. And honestly, you're right, this combo is pretty strong. You can't double Edict because of course it's got a cooldown, but you can double Pulse Nova. This is a ton of damage, even more than double Rot, but the problem is, you're now sitting with a Leshrac in the middle of a fight with only a 35% damage reduction stunned for 4 seconds. Now, not only is Leshrac very item dependent with Yules or Bloodstone or whatever you need to keep yourself alive, but also, if you're just standing still for that amount of time, the enemy can get away from you pretty quickly. So it's not one which I'd personally recommend trying. I think Pudge is better. However, it's not bad if you've got some sort of big AoE stun like Black Hole or something and you just want to annihilate heroes inside of that timing, then maybe you can give it a try. But overall, probably not great. Muerta and Storm Spirit can be a very cool combination because obviously if you parting shot the Storm Spirit, you now have a full mana Storm ready to go. And you can just zip across the map wherever you want to with no cares in the world. You know that thing where Storms zip out from the fountain and take out waves of creeps? Well, you can now do that from wherever you are on the map. Many moons ago, Gunnar actually told me about this combo which was on the top of Reddit recently, which is of course the Io Batrider Muerta combo. When parting shot ends, the soul hero flies back to the main hero. If there's someone being dragged along with that hero, for example by Batrider's Flaming Lasso, then, well, they're coming along too, all the way to the fountain. The only thing to mention here is that there is a max range. It's not global. If you go over this distance, then the soul hero just moves too fast, the lasso breaks, so essentially the enemy must be within this ring on your side of the map, making this a bit of a meme. But you can certainly give this one a try if you feel like messing around with some friends of yours. Hang on a minute, 1 second here. If this works with Batrider, then surely it can work with Centaurs on allies with Workhorse. Let me just test this one out real quick, and yes, indeed, it does work with Centaur and allies. What the... So we found great combos, terrible combos, and a bunch of bugs along the way, which leads us to the question, is Muerta's Aghanims Scepter good?
But still, like, Muerta is not a weak support, and potentially she can get to Axe in a game, like, from... If you find a very good use, good synergy, good combos with a hero, but it's like, it feels like it's an entire strategy-based thing, which is like, still not how to say, not 100% useful, like in terms of like, if people expect it, they will counter it like in a lot of different ways. So but if they don't, it can catch them off guard, and it can be used like one-time strategy in some very important game. I can see that happen and catch people off guard completely, like, because they will have no idea what's going on, you know, like they would just, oh my god, you know.
It's also pretty decent against heroes like Medusa or potentially Tinker if you're looking to catch him out. Stuff where the 35% damage reduction doesn't really matter a whole lot. Medusa because Mana Shield doesn't care about damage reductions, therefore you're doing full damage there whilst she's stunned, and Tinker just because locking him down is usually enough to kill him regardless. If you do find yourself in the situation where you've already got a Muerta support, or you're wondering what support to get, and you already have Pudge or Snapfire or Leshrac on your team, then maybe it could be a consideration for you. It might be the game for it. It's something to look out for, and something which can turn the tide of battle in the right situation. For the future, I really hope that they make it so that it's 70% damage reduction on your teammates and then keep the 30% reduction on enemies. I think that could give it a bit more maneuverability in terms of which side of the team you use it on, because right now it's not amazing to use it as an ally except in a few circumstances that I've mentioned. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video because it took a ton of time to make. There's been a lot of testing, a lot of games, and a lot of going back and changing things as stuff got patched or I found out new information. So, of course, if you guys did enjoy the video, then I'd really appreciate it if you shared it around a bit. Show someone new who you don't think has seen it, because that's ultimately how small channels get bigger and how I can try to make more of these videos. Otherwise, that's all. Thank you for watching. And of course, huge thank you to TeaGuvnor, Dendi, Lizzard, and Gunnar for the contributions. They made this video so much better than I could have. And of course, stay mad.
No, man, just so dumb.
I really am.